Okay, I'm going to go over problems 3 and 4 from your homework today, and it would be helpful if you had your Desmos calculator open. If not, you can download the app, and that way we can go through these problems a little easier and you can understand how to use your Desmos calculator at the same time. I don't expect you to do all of this in your head or by hand. So let's get started. 3/2 times x plus 4 equals 5 minus 1/3 times 4 minus x. First thing you want to identify is that these x's have an imaginary 1 in front of them, so you want to make sure you understand that before you start to distribute and wonder what is it that I'm multiplying it by. Alright, we have 3/2 times 1x. So anything times 1 is itself, so we have 3/2 x. Then we're taking 3/2 times 4. So when I multiply that, I can use my calculator or I can work this out by hand. So when I do this by hand, I'm going to show you both. I'm going to take a positive 3/2 and I'm going to multiply it with 4. Well, any whole number is always over 1, so in order to multiply your fraction straight across, you can put it over 1, equals 5, bring down your 5. Here I'm taking a negative 1/3 and I'm multiplying it with 4. Then I'm taking a negative 1/3 and multiplying it with a negative 1x. So make sure you pay attention to that sign. Take it with you when you do distribute. So a negative 1/3 times 4. And some of you may already know how to simplify this, but I'm just showing you so that there are no questions on how we get our result. Negative 1/3 times negative 1x. So negative times a negative. So be careful with your signs. Negative 1/3 times a negative 1x. And again, we're putting our whole numbers over 1 so we understand how to multiply fractions with a whole number. All right, here we're going to simplify. Again, you can use your calculator if you're a little confused. So we're going to take 3/2 and just bring it straight down, x. Then we're going to multiply this straight across and simplify. So 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times 2 is 2. So we should have 12 divided by 2, which is 6. In your Desmos calculator, you can input that as a fraction 3/2 times 4. You're going to get 6, the exact same thing we just came up with. So this is a positive 6 equals, we're going to bring down our 5 again. Here I'm taking a negative 1/3 times 4 over 1. So negative 1 times 4 is negative 4. Positive 3 times 1 is a positive 3. So this is going to be a fraction, negative 4/3. Again, we could have used our calculator and we could have input this as negative 1/3. Make sure you click on the outside of the fraction when you are multiplying, times 4. Here you're going to get a decimal, but you can convert that decimal to a fraction. You don't want to keep it in decimal form. All right, negative 4/3. So we're going to write negative 4/3. Next, we're going to take this negative 1/3 and multiply it with a negative 1x. So anything times itself is itself. Negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 1/3 times negative 1 over x, no, negative 1x times 1 over 1, sorry, is going to be itself. So negative, positive 1/3 x. So sorry. Okay, now before we begin to move things across the equal sign, we need to make sure that we clean up our work and simplify and combine like terms on both sides. So here, 3/2 x plus 6, you can't combine those. They will stay the same. So we'll just write 3/2 x plus 6 because we can't do anything. But on the right side of the equation, we can see that we have 5 minus 4/3 plus 1/3 x. 5 minus 4/3 are like terms. So we want to combine those before we continue. So 5 minus 4/3, we can put that in our Desmos calculator. 5 minus fraction 4 over 3, enter. I get a decimal, but I can quickly convert that to a fraction, 11/3. So this combines to 11 over 3. And again, I'm just going to bring down whatever I have left, a plus 1/3 x. Here, I can start moving things across the equal sign. It doesn't matter if you move your variables to the left or right, but make sure you keep your variables and your constants on opposite sides. So here, I'll go ahead and just start moving my constants, my numbers. So if I want to move this positive 6 to the right side, I need to use the opposite of a positive 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 here, and I'm going to subtract 6 from my fraction. So I will bring down my 3/2. Positive 6 minus 6 cancels and goes away, 0, equals, and this is where your calculator will come in handy. You can take your calculator and input this operation. So fraction, 11/3, and we are subtracting 6. There's my answer, but I want to convert it to a fraction, so -7/3. So I will put -7/3. Bring down my plus 1/3 x. From here, I can move my variables to the left. So now I want to move this positive 1/3 to the left, and I'm going to subtract 1/3 x, subtract 1/3 x. When I subtract 1/3 from itself, it's going to cancel and go away. I'm going to move my paper up now. And when I take 3/2 and I subtract 1/3, I can take that and put it in my Desmos calculator. 3/2, make sure you click on the outside, minus 1/3. Enter. Change that to a fraction, it's 7/6. So I get 7/6 x equals -7/3. So from here, I need to get rid of this fraction in front of the x. And that's what we talked about earlier today. In order to get rid of this fraction, we could divide by a fraction, but in the end, you're just going to multiply by the reciprocal. So reciprocal means you flip this. So multiply by 6/7. Multiply by 6/7. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other. So again, you can use your calculator to make this more clear, but in order for you to understand how this is going to go away, if I take a fraction, 6/7, and I multiply it with its reciprocal, we will end up with 1. So that's what we need to have in front of the x. That's why we multiply by the reciprocal, because we want the 1 in front of the x. So this cancels out, it ends up dividing by itself. X equals, and now we can take this and multiply straight across, or you can put it into your calculator. So we're going to take -7/3 times 6/7. So -7/3 times 6/7. It's a -2. So your answer should be x equals -2. And you're going to see we started out with all these crazy fractions, but we ended up with a negative whole number. So that is how you're going to do number 3. It was a lot of work. You can stop the video. I'm going to continue on to number 5 so that we can make sure we understand this material a little bit better. So on number 5 of your homework, you do have solving, but you're going to have to combine like terms before you solve. So first, let's get rid of these parentheses. 2 times 5, 10. C. 2 times 2, positive 4. Bring down your minus 2c because we can't do anything with it. We don't distribute to the minus 2c because it's on the outside of the parentheses. So you just bring it straight down. Next, you're going to take this 3 and you're going to multiply with 2c. So 3 times 2 is 6. And then we're going to take 3 and multiply it with a positive 3. So that's a plus 9. And then we're going to bring down our plus 7 again because there is no multiplying with the plus 7. After we close those parentheses, that means we're done multiplying. It's only to whatever's inside the parentheses. Now, before we start to work, we need to combine our like terms. So on the left side, if I have 10c plus 4 minus 2c, I need to combine 10c minus 2c before I begin to move things around. So 10 minus 2 is 8c. Bring down my plus 4, because they are not like terms, equals 6c. I have no other variables on the right, so I'm just going to bring down 6c. Next, I need to identify that I have a positive 9 plus 7. 9 plus 7 is 16, so plus 16. So from here, I can start to solve my problem. So here, I can move my variables to the left and my numbers to the right. I'm going to move 6 to the left. So when I move 6 to the left, I'm going to subtract 6. That's the only way we can move things across the equal sign is using subtraction. Subtract 6. I'm sorry, using addition or subtraction. So here, 8 minus 6 is 2c. Bring down my plus 4 equals 6 minus 6 is 0. Now I'm just going to bring down this positive 16, but I just have to bring it down as 16. I don't have to put the plus sign. I know it's positive when I write it as 16. My last step is to move this positive 4 to the other side. The only way I can move this 4 is by opposite sign, subtracting 4, subtracting 4. Then I'm going to bring down my 2c, because I did nothing with it. Positive 4 minus 4 cancels, goes away, it's 0, equals 16 minus 4 is 12. Now my last step is to undo multiplication with 2 and c. So I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2 on both sides. So c will equal 6. And hopefully that was a little bit more clear and helpful for you to complete the rest of your problems.